the approval of this evening's agenda. Recommendation is that the agenda be accepted as presented. I believe everyone has seen it. Get a motion to accept it.
Motion to accept.
Oh, everybody's jumping in at the same time. I can hear Jeannie first. Jeannie made motion and seconded by Karen. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Any declarations of interest this evening? I see none. Number 4, delegations of presentations. We have Mr. Sean Merriman with us tonight, Manager of Buildings and Bylaw Services. He is here to inform us of the new property standards. So I will hand it right over to Sean.
Yes, thank you very much. Can you give me permission to share my screen or no?
You don't have
I cannot. I don't know who is.
Are you seeing it yet or no?
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
Let's see, share screen, that one.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, now I got to get it on my screen. Just give me a second here.
At least somebody can see it. That's half the battle.
Well, that's half the battle, right? Okay, so anyways, this bylaw, the presentation is really something that started back last spring / early summer. Council requested that I take a look at the bylaw department overall and determine if there was anything that could possibly help in trying to help things move along faster, quicker, more efficiently for all the people that are involved. So, I still got to move this thing. So the question was really, what did we want from our bylaws that are passed here at the town of Prescott? And we want them to work for the greater good of the community. We want all the issues or any concerns that get expressed resolved in a timely manner and consistently. We don't want the bylaws to become a burden to the general taxpayer. And we want them to be relatively straightforward and in the language and the expectations. So, and we, at the same point, we still want a system where the officers or the staff members, however you want to say it, are still responsible for their actions or inactions, meaning that there's some way to follow up on it. And more important, because it's not just as more important, but it is as important because of the fact that we are a small community. We have to keep it within the guidelines of what we can afford. And that was to aim for a bylaw that a bylaw department that uses about 24 hours per week on average through the whole year. Is this moving forward? No. Okay. So, so is that currently happening? So right now, not really. Our system is what's called passive enforcement. And it lends itself less to about community presentation, more about neighborly relations, meaning that if we, right now, if we don't receive a concern from someone, there isn't really any action taken on any of our bylaws. This leads to a lack of inclusivity, meaning that because it depends who your neighbor is, how well you're liked, how well you're not liked. It'll depend on whether or not you're being expected to follow the standards that are passed in the bylaws. In addition, right now, the only way we had for enforcing our bylaws was to use the provincial court system. And not only is that time consuming, it's expensive, but it's also a per use of the court system's time and resources. Sometimes, to give you an idea, we got notified to attend court for a situation that happened in 2019, just the other day. And you know, that's just way too long for the court systems to for an issue to be resolved. So these two things lead to an inability to confirm if expectations and policies were followed by staff on a consistent basis. Because although we might be doing something, the public and council has trouble seeing it being done when it takes 2 or 3 or 4 years for something to come forward. Or if we've never received a concern about something, again, it takes a long time before, you know, it can be confirmed why nothing has been done or something has been done. So what are some of the elements that we can use to help these issues? And I have always been the type of manager that I like to solve problems by doing a whole lot of little things all together at the same time. I don't usually think there's a silver bullet that ever solves any and all problems. So a prime example is the parking in the North End where heavy trucks were parking at the Canadian Tire and the YIG on a regular basis. So some of the steps that we did to include it is we put up more signage overall in various locations, not only just in the parking lots, but like on the off ramps and everything else. We had a larger sign right across where we wanted the trucks to turn, and we added a better visual element on that sign, which was the flashing lights. The other thing that really helped is we added French to the signs. You know, it's nice to put it in English, but if half the people that are violating it are speaking French, it makes life much easier if you have the stuff in French. And then more important, I worked with all the parties. I worked with Canadian Tire and YIG and Ultramar and the residents, and we all came together and all put a little bit forward into this to find solutions. So since that's happened, that's really kind of disappeared. When I first came here, we were issuing well over 300 tickets a year just to trucks that were parked in the wrong spot on a regular basis through trying to enforce it. To the point now that we very seldom ever see a ticket up there, but more important, we very seldom see a truck up there. And the nice thing is the residents certainly do reach out to me when they tell me that there's a problem. So bylaw itself has already started this process. We've already increased our software. We've made bylaw changes for signs and animal control, and we revisited parking. And so the next steps were to really address property standards, because it's the previous bylaw was actually written fairly in terms of expectations. But what was not so capable was the compliance systems to bring it back into compliance when there was an issue found. So, like I say, the current timeframes are a burden to obtain actual compliance in a community because the acceptable timeframe, and it's extremely expensive, we have to take it through a POA and a Part 3 summons. So again, we found numerous steps that may help us get to faster compliance on a more regular basis. One was we set up a monetary administrative policy system. Think of it kind of like setting up a small arbitrator or court within the town itself. There are conditions under which it can be used, but when it's used, it's going to reduce the amount of time to finding a firm answer to a solution by years. We won't be getting anything anymore that this started 2 years ago. We're going to be getting stuff more like this happened 45 days ago. And we're just addressing it now. And the person who is being the concerns leveled against, there's a fairness element, because should a person feel an officer is outside or has a vendetta against the person, there are methods to have it reviewed. The AMP system actually comes up with a screening officer. And if you're not happy with what the screening officer had to say, you can actually take it to a hearing officer, which again, different people. So the screening officer themselves is not a person of council, but it could be a senior staff member that's not in bylaw. Okay, and a hearing officer is actually someone that's appointed by the community to hear the concern. It helps reduce the costs immensely. You're not involving lawyers, you're getting still a chance. It's economical. Like it gives a chance for someone to make their concerns And it refocuses more of staff's time, less on creating court briefs and lawyer reports. And it simply just comes down to simple notes that involve the incident in front of the person. One of the other things that's being added is a vacant building registry. A vacant building registry is simply a comment that says if you have a vacant building and it's over X amount of time or under X conditions, you have to register it with the town. And this here will actually do a lot of things. It'll actually allow us to have a reason to inspect these buildings on a more regular basis. Because once it's vacant, it has to be on the registry and then it gets inspected at minimum 2 to 4 times a year by staff and the fire department to make sure that we don't get to a situation where basically a building is so run down that it has become unsafe. Then we can go to the courts, get permission to enter it, confirm it's unsafe, and go through all the steps to have it removed. This is actually to deal with the problem still while they're still small. It'll also encourage the utilization of buildings because now there's an incentive to whoever owns that building to make sure that they're using it properly and making sure that it doesn't remain vacant. Right now, there's some people, and I've had them look at me and say, Sean, nothing personal. I'm going to leave it there because I know it's going up in value and I don't care that it really becomes an eyesore. No one's living in it. What's the big deal? Okay, it also helps focus staff times because we're going to have a vacant building registry, kind of like we do with the backflow prevention devices and stuff. We'll set up a schedule and we'll have policies and we'll know what we're doing. So basically, every 3 months, we know we're looking at this section of town or this section of town and which buildings are coming up for the inspections. And it allows us to do it in a much more timely and efficient factor. Next, it'll also allow the town, and i.e. Dana, because Dana does everything for us in economic development, but basically to market that space more efficiently to people that's looking for space. Like I say, this will certainly clear up a lot of confusions about what is available and what sort of condition it's in. So when we renewed and upgraded the property standards bylaw, we had clearer definitions. There were some pretty decent definitions, but we got into even some more. And the length of time that it can remain. And this is the final thing. These two things come into the property standards bylaw. Okay, we've got a clearer policy to speed up the resolution by creating timelines, not just for the first time issue, but we'll be able to declare a situation habitual. So like everything else, 99% of the people are great. 99% of the time, well, let's put it this way, 90% of the time, I never even have to approach a person about their property because it's not an issue ever. That last 10%, 90% of them even deal with their issue fairly quickly when they've had time to think about it, and they clean it up in a timely manner. This is more about the 1% that seem to drag their feet and basically don't want to correct the situation at any given time. Right now, the way the current system is, when someone gives me a concern about a property, we investigate it. When we investigate it and we find it's a problem, we give them an order. Sometimes people drag that out to the very last second, but clean it up at the last second. 2 weeks later, they're doing the exact same thing. Okay, they brought in whatever it could be, more stuff in the yard. They've opened up a different business that's fixing different equipment for lawnmowers, or whatever the case may be. The garbage is built up again. The nice thing about the new bylaw is once it actually gets to the point that orders had to be issued and they weren't cleaned up the first time, basically there'll be a policy where that order stays open for a set period of time. And the more often you are found to be lacking, the longer that period of time it'll stay open that it has to be left open. This is important because we're not starting from scratch all over again. More important, it gives us permission to go onto the property and correct it in a much more timely fashion. And the nice thing is it's not meant to be punitive. It's truly just about cost reimbursement. So therefore, It's just about reclaiming the cost to bring it into standards quickly and efficiently. More important, we have to accept that there's certain people out there, whether it's in the downtown or maybe, you know, in the suburbs or wherever. We can't, you know, there's no point just adding things on and adding things on. So there will be a system in place for people that want help. In some of the cases for the BIA area, it'll include things like the CIP and stuff like that. But there's also situations where maybe the owner has some mental health issues or mobility issues, maybe economic issues, where they can actually approach the town to see if they can get any assistance with the thing. Because like I said, this isn't about being punitive. It's about keeping the community in what I call a clean and pride community. You want to have pride in your community, and this is a way to do it in a faster and more timely manner. So those 3 bylaws have now been passed by council. More education on them will be coming out on a regular basis. I will be reaching out to Kevin and stuff to let you know when they're posted on the website and when the education material is there. But the idea is to, especially with the vacant building registry, get more people in the buildings that are already existing, but more important, get people into safe, proper buildings that can serve the purpose for what they're being rented out for or leased for. So that's my presentation to the BIA. I wanted to bring it to your attention so that you're aware of it. It will kick in on January 1st at this point. But there will be, because of the way it is, basically your building's got to be 6 months vacant before it has to go in the registry. So the first 6 months alone will be just about education, warning, advising, not even warning, but advising people on what's going to be expected and letting them decide whether or not they want to leave it vacant or actively work at fixing it up and getting it rented out. Because chances are the inspections are going to find issues with the building if they're not doing anything with it. And all they're doing is postponing what's going to be required anyways by at most a few months. So that's my presentation. I'm more than happy to take any questions at this time. Now, how do I get it off the share system now? Thank you.
There we go. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Merriman? I know I don't, only because I've been following the council meeting, so I kind of have an understanding of where it was going. Well, with no questions, thanks a lot, Sean. Appreciate you letting us know what's going on, and I think in the long run, it's a helpful thing. So,
well, like I say, I think overall, especially for the BIA, especially those that take a lot of pride in their buildings and everything that they're doing, it's a great thing all the way around. The idea is not to leave something now vacant for years and years and years to the point that it has to be demolished because it's been left that long.
mm-hmm. No, that's perfect. All right, one more time, any more questions? If not, then Sean can be on his way.
Yeah, and please, if you get questions later, reach out to me here at the office, either by calling or emailing me. I will get back to you just as soon as I possibly can.
Perfect. All righty, Sean. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean.
Good night. All righty, folks. That will move us on to number 5. Minutes of the previous meeting. Again, they were sent out. Recommendation that the minutes from October 12th be accepted as presented. Can I get a motion, please?
I'll move that the minutes dated October 12th be accepted as presented.
Motion made by Karen, seconded by
I will.
Pearl.
Okay.
Pearl wins. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Next into committee reports. I can tell you as of right now, there are none, as we did not meet. Schedules do have a tendency to clash. So with that, I will jump right on to 7 staff updates. First off will be our Digital Main Street update, and from our Digital Main Street Digital Squad member, it'll be Elizabeth. She will give us a quick update.
Hi, everyone. I'm just going to share my screen quickly. A little presentation. Hopefully you can see that.
Can see it.
Perfect. Wonderful. So just an overview. I'll talk about the grant update and the BIA, Shop Here program. I'm added in like a general overview of Digital Main Street and just some of our webinars and marketing materials that we've done so far. So in the BIA, 18 businesses have been contacted. 6 of them are interested and or in progress right now. And we have 3 in the training program, as well as 3 that have been approved and received their funds, which is really exciting because then we can move them on through their digital transformation plan. So from that, 67% of businesses contacted have shown interest in the program. I'm pretty happy with that amount. I think that's a good level of interest, and hopefully it'll stay at that level for the time being. Shop Here program. This is for businesses that are home-based or they can have a storefront. It's focused on building websites and also e-commerce, but it doesn't have to be an online store. It can just be a general informative website. You get this custom website for free. You work one-on-one with someone from Digital Main Street, and you can also get some graphic design work done through it as well, which is really great. So right now I have 1 business that is currently interested. I plan to do a lot more marketing for this as the grant deadline's coming up. And I've contacted 5 so far for the Shop Here program. So just a quick overview of the overall progress. We've contacted 63 businesses, either in person or virtually. 21 are in progress or training, and so far we have 9 grants that have been approved. As I mentioned, the deadline has been extended to November 30th, so I've seen a bit of an increase in interest with this extension because people have a bit more time to get their training done and their applications done. Moving on to webinars, we hosted Instagram for Business on October 25th. We had 30 people attend, which was really great. We were very happy with the turnout. We had a local business owner as a guest speaker. Coming up on the 17th, we have a Facebook Business Suite webinar. We have Nicole, the owner of Katarina's, as our guest speaker, and we're really excited for that event. This is a part of a series. So we had Instagram for Business, we have Facebook coming up, and then on December 8th, we have a Canva 101 webinar. These are for anybody that has a business or just wants to learn more about social media. You don't necessarily have to be in the Digital Main Street program, and they are free as well. This is a little winter webinar series update. It's coming out soon, so I just wanted to share that as well. These are some of our marketing materials we've done so far. And I have a few more examples there. I also added in our Facebook and Instagram if you want to stay updated. And that's all I have. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
I have one for you. Can you just explain the Canva 101?
Yes, Canva is like a online graphic design website. So I was just planning on doing a webinar just on the basics of how to use it. There's a lot of features in it. You can make a logo for your business on there. You can make a brand kit. So all of your social media has like the same branding all throughout. But yeah, I'm hoping you can also do presentations. That's where mine was done in. But yeah, I just want to give people my tips and tricks on how to use Canva because I think it's a great tool, and there's a free version as well. So it's really great for small businesses.
All right. Thank you. I think I'm actually going to sign up for that one because I want to know a little more about that stuff.
Perfect. See you there.
I can't do anything with pictures on a computer. I'm terrible at it. So
It's very user friendly. You'll be good.
all righty. Anybody got any questions for Elizabeth?
These are such great tools that you're offering to the business owners. I'm really impressed with them.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? No, already. I see nothing. Thank you, Elizabeth. Good update. And yeah, look forward to signing up for the Canva 101 at least anyways. We shall now move along to B, the BIA coordinator update, which goes right over to Justin. And Justin is going to give us some updates on some stuff and what's going on in the future.
Can everyone see my shared screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we're good. Awesome.
Everybody's sharing screens tonight. It's crazy.
We're just making use. I also use Canva for my presentation. I'd like to say that as well. So I'm just going to take you through some of the recent events, as well as a couple upcoming ones, and we have some ideas for BIA participation in some of those upcoming events as well. So first up, just a little final roundup of the Thanksgiving turkey trot. The BIA ended up raising more than $740 for the South Grenville Food Bank. There were over 200 feathers on the turkey. And Elizabeth can attest to the fact that we picked up a substantial amount of food, and I only cut myself once delivering it. So it was fairly successful there. And we got a lot of great comments when we were talking to people about the turkey trot. I think people really got into it. The winning business was Old Magic as well.
Yeah, she just found out about that, by the way.
Because it's impossible to tag her on Facebook. So she misses those posts sometimes.
She asked, she asked me who won, and I'm like, oh, you did.
I'm certain I've mentioned that to her at some point, but we do need to get her prize as well. So second recent event, I'm sure most of you saw the Small Business Week posts that Elizabeth put together the graphics, and we got up through the Explore Prescott and across the entire Prescott social media platform. They weren't just BIA businesses. I believe of the 10 that went up, though, 7 or 8 were BIA businesses. So those posts garnered over 20,000 views over the course of the 10 posts, 2,400 engagements and 500 plus comments, which compared to our normal social media engagement is substantial. So they were quite a hit. They garnered quite a bit of positive feedback as well. And it is something that the town, as the business development and economic development activity, will be continuing. So we will be highlighting businesses in this some similar fashion through social media, spreading out the net a little bit so that we can highlight some of the businesses that are in Prescott that are successful and the reasons why they are and why they've chosen to do what they do. So next up is the Halloween activities. The business trick or treat went on as planned. We had 12 businesses sign up for that. I've talked to quite a few of them since the event, and I think it's fair to say that most had a fairly good turnout from that. It wasn't the best day for trick-or-treating. It was kind of miserable out, but I know we were downtown for a grand opening that day, and there was quite a bit of traffic in costumes, as well as the BIA chair in a costume attending the event, but that's another story. So that was I think a pretty successful event, and one that a lot of people got right into. So as you all know as well, we were planning a Halloween market for the 30th to coincide with that. We had 25 confirmed vendors, as well as music, kids events, a costume contest. Some readers, tarot readers and mediums were coming to the event. Unfortunately, due to the terrible weather, we had to cancel it the Thursday before because there was no way we could have an outdoor market that day, and there was no in-store facility available. So that was quite unfortunate, but we threw together a pumpkin parade pop-up market at the Prescott Pumpkin Parade on November 5th. So we had 5 vendors that were able to come out that evening. We had a 2-hour market with live music. There was substantial attendance associated with the pumpkin parade, but quite a few of those people were going through and shopping at the vendors, and they all seemed very happy with it. And there was a lot of positive online and vendor feedback. So I will be looping back to this in a second as I go through a couple other things. So I wanted to just do, I know I talked about last time the conclusion of the market season, but I wanted to sort of take you through how that downtown farmers market went, as well as a few of the ideas that were floating around that we're going to discuss both internally and with vendors. And if you have any ideas tonight, I'd love to hear those as well that we're looking at for next year's market season. So this year we had a total of 25 different vendors that attended at some point. As I said last time, the average was around 10, 8 to 10, high point around 12 or 14 for especially the Wednesday night markets. The Wednesday night markets were well attended by vendors, and we tended to get quite a few people through in those evenings. We hosted the curling club, who brought in a summer outdoor curling rink that brought a lot of people down and had a lot of participation. And one weekend, Beaver Tail's truck was in the parking lot there with the market, and that also led to a pretty substantial turnout. They also had music at nearly every event. That's Valley Mountain was the name of that group. They came twice. They were very good. So looking forward to 2022. What we'd be looking at there is regular Saturday markets again. We are going to have a meeting upcoming with the current vendors to discuss certain things. One of those is the hours of operations. We're running from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturdays this year. And I was looking to talk to them about what their thoughts were on the timing of that, because there would be busy periods and slow periods running through those markets. Another idea we're talking about are weeknight and holiday pop-up markets. So perhaps rather than that regular Wednesday market every 2 weeks downtown, during the summer months, we could move that market around town to the different parks, get the market closer to where people live for those particular events. So that could be, for example, right behind Town Hall. That could be Sarah Spencer Park. That could be Centennial Park by the beach when it is busy down there. And it could be Riverwalk, although we have some more specific ideas for Riverwalk as well. Also, we'd look to include something like an experiential activity. You'll see in other locations, there'll be art classes, yoga classes associated with these sorts of markets. So that would be looking at do something like that in those parks, which wouldn't necessarily be meant to detract from the downtown market, more to spread that around so there was a little bit more event-based activities there. And finally, after the success of a pretty hastily put together pop-up market at the Pumpkin Parade, one thing we wanted to look at was utilizing the area around the marina, including the amphitheater area, for a more regular market outside of Shakespeare season. So we could put more vendors than we had that night down through there. There's a substantial amount of foot traffic down through that area in the evening. So we could have a larger number of vendors than the sort of pop-up markets, and as well keep people down in that downtown area and get people through Riverwalk Park as well. Which brings me to the December 4th market. So we are holding a December 4th holiday shop local holiday market at the Leo Boyden Community Center. We opened vendor registration last Tuesday, perhaps, and we had to close it on Sunday because we had already allocated the 64 spots based on the registrations. So we had a pretty substantial vendor turnout, a number of them that we obviously hadn't had at previous markets that are looking to come. So we will definitely have live music. I confirmed one portion of the musical entertainment there today, and we'll hopefully have some more traditional Christmas music in the earlier hours that day. And we're looking at some other activities as well. One thing that we are looking to do there is have a series of raffles of both getting some items from the vendors to contribute to sort of a door prize entry raffle, as well as I had the idea that we could put together some sort of downtown shop local based raffle prize. So if the BIA were interested, if you wanted to allocate some funds perhaps towards Prescott dollars, which can't necessarily be directed directly to the downtown, but I think they tend to get spent down there as part of a downtown shop local bag, or any ideas of what others would think could go in there could be something that you could look at contributing to that. And I believe, yes, I should have stopped back there. If perhaps anyone has any ideas or wants to discuss that particular before I move on to the next one, because there's another allocation in there as well.
Anybody have any comments, questions?
Kind of.
Okay, go ahead, kind of.
Okay, so I do have a question on a personal level. Are you guys supplying the tables for the vendors?
Well, I will be doing a comprehensive email, hopefully tomorrow afternoon. Our idea right now is that we will be supplying the tables. We'll set them up because we need to have a specific pattern in there for COVID and fire regulations. But if someone needed to use their own tables, we could accommodate that as well.
Okay. You were saying about draws and whatnot. So if every vendor gives at least one door prize, which is relatively normal when we do a craft fair, we usually have to give something minimum $5 and up. And you can do either the Chinese draw with the tickets, match the last 3 digits to what you purchase of a pre-drawn number of tickets on a wall, and you can have a chance to win what's ever there. Or you can have a draw basket, whether it's on entry alone or pay for a ticket again, like get a draw ticket. For example, I have a $450 value, almost queen size crocheted afghan with 2 matching pillows. Could be the door prize for that one, and you can get tickets for $1 and go from there. Something like that. Just off the wall stuff.
I mean, we weren't really looking at the idea of selling tickets per se. It would more just be you enter, you can fill out a ticket and potentially win. More so because
the monies could be allotted to a charity in our area.
Well, we will be using, rather than an entry fee, we've been talking to a couple locations with the possibility of them accepting donations rather than visitor entry fees. So we would be allocating revenue to charities through that.
Okay.
We're also going to be, just to jump in there, and we're also going to be having donations set up for the spirit of giving at the event. And just for when it does come to those type of prizes and things, we have to be very careful. We're not allowed to sell tickets, or we would have to get a lotto license. So that's why when we're just doing like kind of a balloted giveaway at the event, that's something that we can get away with, so to speak.
Okay.
But I would suggest maybe the events committee wants to have maybe schedule a meeting following the BIA meeting to maybe have some more in-depth discussion about ways that, you know, just general ideas or other ways that BIA could get involved in this one, aside from the requests that we're about to make.
Yeah, this will go along the promotional group instead of the event thing, really, because the event's already there. We're just going to promote into it. Really, right?
Yeah, whatever committee you decide is best suited. I would just definitely suggest when it gets to, you know, some of these, there's some great ideas that could come forward. It couldn't hurt to get one of your committees together to flush this out a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. As far as the raffle, Justin, have you figured out what's the prize going to be, or have you thought that far ahead yet?
TBD. We hopefully be putting together some baskets like Jeannie's described. We'll also, perhaps I was thinking this particular one would be shop local swag, along with Prescott dollars, encouraging people to spend them downtown during the holiday season.
Okay, because I'm just trying to think, because if the committee meets, we are not going to have another BIA meeting prior to this. So
No, but you could theoretically, I believe, allocate the funds and then discuss how you want to use them at that, as long as they were for promotions running through there.
Mm-hmm. So if you're talking Prescott, what kind of funds, like what kind of, like, was there just one prize or more than one, or so what kind of monies would we be talking about?
If I can just
200?
jump in, I think we've actually included those details right within the agenda.
No, there's no dollar amount for the market.
Okay, sorry, my apologies. That was something we were brainstorming. It was the passport that we had specified those dollars for. Any discussion amongst Justin, yourself, or Elizabeth as far as the denomination amount?
I would think an appropriate amount would be $100 to $200, whether we're doing 1 to 2 baskets.
Okay, I see. Yeah, okay.
Kevin, I'll make a motion that we donate $200 towards it.
Thank you. You scared me. I can't see everybody. They're all in. Yeah. You scared me.
I would second that, Pearl. Yeah.
Alrighty. So we have a motion made by Pearl to allocate $200 for promotion raffle associated with the 2021 holiday market. Seconded by, who seconded that? Karen? Karen.
Yes,
All
Karen.
right. All in favor?
Aye.
I can't see everybody, but
Aye.
Aye.
alrighty. Motion carried. Thank you. Yeah, so we'll throw we'll get the promotion committee together and kind of maybe we can hammer out some details a little better, but yes. I was gonna say it's Christmas, let's go on the high end anyways. So anything else on that one, Justin?
On that one, no, but I do have one more slide here, but I'm going to give Elizabeth the floor to discuss it, as it's an idea that she put a lot of the stuff together for. And she can tell you a little more about the Prescott Shop Local Passport Program.
Okay, so we want to do a physical booklet. We're calling it a passport. People will collect stamps, and there's all different kinds of little activities on it. So for example, on the screen there, you can see one of the pages is spend $25 at a local store. This is one where they can complete this multiple times and get multiple stamps. So they could spend $25 at 3 local stores and get 3 stamps in return. We're also encouraging people to go to some of our local events, like the museum opening and also the market. So these are also activities in the passport where people can receive stamps. We have some that are taking pictures in front of the clock tower, donate to the food bank, just things like that. We've also created a profile picture frame for Facebook. I'm not sure if you guys have seen them before, but they go around your profile picture. They usually have them for things like Remembrance Day, Christmas, things like that. So that's something that we're thinking of doing, and we can put it on our Prescott pages and then encourage people to also participate in that as well, as it is another activity on the passport. So it's going to run from November 25th until December 11th. We're going to have, hopefully we'll have businesses that want to participate in it, and they can be drop off and pick up locations for the passports. Since it is a physical copy, we'll need them to pick them up somewhere. So we're hoping that we can do that at stores, and then maybe they can fill out the first one and buy some Christmas goodies. What else? Oh, so whoever gets the most stamps, I believe, is going to win the grand prize, and then we will have raffles for the other prizes. I think we're gonna do quite a few in total. We have, as you can see, the info sheet on there. We're going to have on the back where people can fill out their contact information. And they'll need to be returned by no later than December 11th. If anyone has any questions about it, I'm happy to answer.
I love this idea. It seems like a really great interactive way to get people downtown and interacting with the local merchants. Yeah.
Thank you.
I was really just hoping to see Justin dressed up as an elf, but
Doing a passport instead.
what? No, I think this is a great idea. I do see here that there is a bit of a suggestion for some money.
Yes, so we will, the town will be allocating a substantial amount towards the prizes, but we would like to ask if the BIA would be interested in perhaps funding $500 towards the printing and marketing costs as well. We'll be putting together shop local stamps for the businesses that will be participating to stamp the passports. So there are some upfront costs, and we're wondering if the BIA would like to contribute in that fashion.
I don't see why we wouldn't want to.
I'll make the motion that we contribute $500.
There we go. We have a motion made by Pearl, and anybody care to
Second.
second that?
Second.
Seconded by
Jeannie,
Jeannie. Seconded by Jeannie. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Oh, quick question. What are the prizes? Or did you say that and I wasn't paying attention?
We haven't determined the exact value yet, but they will be Prescott Proud dollars, and they will be relatively substantial.
Okay. Good to know. That was staff updates. Anything else from staff, Ben? Is that your hand up, Dana?
It is, yes. Thank you, Kevin.
Dana.
Yeah, just a quick update for myself. I did just want to touch on or add to the passport holiday promotions. The reason Justin is being so shady, so to speak, about the prize amount is that we're taking a recommendation to council, hopefully, to get some support for some additional dollars as part of the COVID funding that the municipality has received. We'd like to do something very similar to last year, as well as a couple of rounds of business support that we provided throughout the pandemic. Really, again, trying to get some local dollars flowing in the community. We thought the passport program would be a really great opportunity to help kickstart that. And we're also hoping to provide the community with some dollars through direct distribution through businesses. So we like to provide businesses with dollars to hand out to customers as thank you for their purchase, as well as really step up the prizes that we're able to offer for this year's passport program, so we can get some dollars flowing locally into the community. And we're also considering some other potential ideas that would involve the businesses themselves and rewarding them with some Prescott dollars that they can use as part of some special promotions too. So don't have a whole lot of details about it yet, but we are planning several supporting programs. So you will definitely have a thorough update at the December BIA meeting. And I just wanted to update the BIA on the My Main Street application. I think I touched on this briefly just at our last meeting. There is a new funding program available that has two streams of funding available. The first is the Accelerator program, and I'm very happy to report that Council has approved our recommendation to proceed with an application under that stream. So we've applied for funding to support the establishing a contract position for a period of 12 months, where we would hire what would be called a Main Street ambassador to implement a number of activities throughout the downtown to really support revitalization, as well as helping to develop and retain new businesses and attract potentially, existing businesses and attract potentially some new businesses to the community as well. So fingers crossed, we have submitted the application for that program. We're hoping to receive word within the next 7 to 10 days. And if successful, we would look at hiring someone with possibly a March start date. So we're really hoping it would dovetail into the Digital Main Street program. And then we would have that Main Street ambassador in place for the period of 12 months. So it would provide the businesses with a lot of new supports, not just digital in nature. This is going to be a more well-rounded program that would provide businesses and the town as a whole with some great new opportunities to market and promote and hopefully attract some new visitors to our community. And we're also going to be bringing forth a report recommendation to council to apply for the other program stream, which is the Activator program. So that program involves some physical dollars, so to speak, to implement a number of activities, everything from, well, these are just a few of the ideas that we're hoping to bring forward. One of which would be the downtown patio gathering area that I think we've discussed on a few different occasions. We're really looking to create more spaces that encourage pedestrians and foot traffic to spend more time in the downtown and really support the businesses, especially throughout the summer, kind of our seasonal spring to fall season, where people can get out and about and enjoy that weather. We'd really like to support that with some more pedestrian friendly amenities. So we're hoping to secure some dollars for that, as well as some new signage we're looking at, and developing a new signage and wayfinding strategy as part of that, so we can provide some new signage opportunities for businesses to promote themselves to visitors and local residents, of course, as well as some improved signage to better direct visitors to the great attractions that we have throughout the community. So I'm pretty excited about this one. Another one that we're hoping to, activity that we're hoping to fund through this is a new application. It would be like a smartphone app that's developed, and it's kind of like a visitor and resident app. It's really to try and engage people in the community once they're here. It would have like a bit of a passport kind of element to it, similar to the physical passport that we're doing for the holidays. This would have all of Prescott's attractions on it, and people that visit the different sites would actually gain points that they could then exchange for, we're thinking, Prescott Proud dollars. So it would very much tie in the new visitor center, as well as a new application for visitors and local residents to use, and really feature new businesses and provide them with a great new promotional tool. So we're hoping to receive funding support for that as well as part of this activator program application. And then just a few other activities, possibly some additional seasonal lighting for the downtown, really to support those ongoing downtown revitalization efforts. So hopefully we'll have some great news at the next meeting on both the accelerator and the activator funding applications. And that's it for me. Thanks.
That's a lot of extra stuff. No, that's some good stuff in there though. I like the smartphone app thing. That sounds fun. Any questions, anybody? I don't see any more, so we can mosey along and we'll jump into the financial report. We do have the suggested motion that the financial report be accepted as presented, but as first we will have it presented, and our lovely treasurer Tracy can give us a quick update. You're muted.
Oh,
there you go.
There we go. There we go. Sorry. Okay, so I think maybe the easiest way to present this, because it's hard because I don't share my screen, which I probably should. It would make it a lot easier. But so with expenses, with the coordinator expenses, we have a balance of $4,574 remaining till the end of the year. With marketing and promotion, we have after tonight, like after our commitments tonight, we have about $2,500 left in marketing. And with physical improvements, we have about 3,000 left. So I know, Matthew, with the financial statement, I took the Christmas decorations and I put them down into physical improvements. So I guess the Christmas decorations have been ordered then.
I apologize, Tracy. I did mean to include that under my updates. Yes, the lights have been ordered. They have arrived, actually ordered and arrived, and are being installed within the next couple of weeks. We presented a bit of an overview of the lighting plan at the last meeting, but if members have any questions, more than happy to answer those. But yes, they are in.
That's exciting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we still have our outstanding commitments, which I've made. The balances that I've given you includes the outstanding commitments that we haven't been billed for yet. So we still have some money.
What was the balance for the physical?
So 3,000. So we have the Adirondack chair and the Christmas decorations. Those are the commitments there.
And that still needs to be taken off of that?
No, that includes, like, that's
that
the
includes
bottom.
it. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. That is good. I just want to let you know, especially Tracy, just as a bit of a side note, I was talking with Chris Beltkamp from the fire department, and we were just having a discussion about the parade, or, well, unfortunately, the one we aren't going to have this year. And I did mention that, typically we do set aside $500 for them. He mentioned back to me, since they're not going to have the regular parade, It's convenient about the other $500. That we allocate that $500 that was going to go to them back into promotions and so on and so forth, which I think is pretty fair because we haven't spent that anyways, but we got that 500 allocated now for the other one, so it kind of works out in the long run. But I thought that was nice of him to suggest that, so just so you know. So that being said, we don't need to allocate the $500 to them this year. So, so that being said, yeah, there's still a fair amount of money left over. We'll see where we're at next month. Maybe we can buy more lights still. We'll just empty the bank accounts. That said, since the motion is there to accept the financial report, who cares to make the motion?
That the
I'll move.
financial report
So go ahead.
be accepted as presented.
Alrighty, motion is made by Tracy and seconded by
I'll
Karen.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Next, or number 9 is our committee roundtable. This is where anybody can go nuts and announce anything new business, anything they want to discuss, anything they want to see happen. Anybody have anything?
When is the window display contest for the downtown core going to be announced?
It hasn't even been talked about yet.
Okay.
It's gone through a few hands, I guess. But yeah, there's nothing's been discussed about actually doing one yet or not. So
Because we were talking last meeting about blue and whites and keeping on with the snowflakes and things like that.
sorry, pardon, Jeannie?
I said, when we talked about it last month, the suggestions until confirmed, blue and white theme, snowflakes because of our new lightings coming in. Just wondering when it will be announced if we're having a contest for our windows.
Okay. As of right now, nothing is confirmed with that one.
Okay.
Anything else? I have a quick question for Dawn.
Go.
What was that little quizzy thing that you were doing on your page the other day?
Well, the second one didn't work so well, but it's a Kahoot. So we'll do it again this week on Friday. It's just a quick quiz, basically to hand out gift certificates.
Oh, okay.
So the winner gets a gift card and then everybody else gets $10 off for purchases.
Oh,
Okay. I'm not familiar with it, and I saw you were doing it, and I thought it was kind of neat. What's Kahoot?
It's a quiz program usually used at like colleges and things where you can do a quiz on materials and you can have videos or sound. The first week it worked okay. The second week, because I changed the subscription, I didn't hit something properly. So if you tune in this week, we'll see if it actually works. And then people were wanting to see some things in the store. So I just did a little bit of live with it on Facebook to show people some of the items that we have in.
Yeah, well, I saw it, and I think Justin saw it too, and we're kind of like, well, that's kind of a neat idea compared to just your normal kind of Facebook Live.
Well, it was actually quite fun. I mean, we ended up having to do it with me reading the questions because what happened was I could see on my screen all the questions, but everybody else just got the ABC buttons to press, but they couldn't see the question. So people were just randomly pressing things. But the one, I mean, a couple of things came from it. I mean, I think people kind of are enjoying it. And it's not particularly difficult, but I mean, one of the shirts that I wore in the first one, the day later, somebody from California bought the shirt because they liked it on me in the live. So it's got a much broader reach than I expected it would. And so that was actually a little bit shocking, that somebody actually tuned in, watched me do all that, and then bought the shirt, right? So It's just kind of a new and interesting way to do things, but I think people are enjoying it.
Is now this person from California, were they like, are they an online customer of yours, or was it through the
Just through the Facebook Live. They tuned into the Facebook Live. I don't know how the internet works. I'm over 50, so somehow they watched it and they liked the shirt and they bought it based on the just me doing that live. So
interesting.
and then other people were telling me they were tuning in later and watching. I'm like, I don't know why you could torture yourself like that, but okay, that's good to know. So actually, a lot of people have actually went through and viewed it, even though they didn't go to the actual live. But it's interesting. I'm not really great on camera, but
yeah,
I do my best.
Well, no, it's like, yeah, it was kind of like quiz night at the pub, but instead at a retail store. And
yeah, and I think people are enjoying it, and some of the people behind the scenes are getting a little bit competitive about who's going to win and that sort of thing. So it's just a little bit of fun for this month. And
let me know how your next one goes. It was just, we kind of thought about it, like it'd be interesting to see if there was a way we could tie it into the businesses, like everybody, and do like a whole thing. But yeah, I don't know, because I don't know how often you do it. And
well, I'm just doing it 4 times and so each week the prize gets bigger. So
Yeah.
This week it'll be $75 for the gift card, and then everybody still gets a $10 coupon, which they can stack up for purchases, hopefully that they'll use on Black Friday. But I think it is, I think people just want to do things. They don't actually have to buy anything while they're participating, or they never have to buy anything, but it's a chance to kind of socialize online, I guess.
yeah. No, it's definitely an interesting way to build a customer base for businesses. All right. No, yeah, just kind of let me know how it works, because yeah, kind of need to see if we can figure something out. Anyways, anybody else have any thoughts, things they want to talk about? Anything they want to see done? Does Sean know he's here? Okay.
I've been listening.
Okay, I didn't know that you were sticking around. I thought you left. I thought maybe he came back on for some weird reason. Okay. That being said, Sean, our next thing is our adjournment. So if anybody would care to make the motion to adjourn tonight's meeting. Oh, Pearl.
Pearl.
Motion.
Yeah, I'll make the.
Seconded by Tracy. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Thank you very much, everybody.